Amanda from the Vet Shed, and today I'm going to show you our new first aid kit for pets. It's really important to have a first aid kit for pets. Some of the human first aid kits really don't have all the necessary items in it that we do need for our lovely pets here. So my volunteer today is Keith. He's going to help me show you what actually is in the kit and what we actually use the items for. So sometimes what happens is you can't always get to a vet in an emergency, immediately. So it's a good idea to have things at the ready that at least as you're transporting your pet to the vet, you can minimise bleeding, you can minimise hypothermia or low body temperature from shock, and just kind of give your pet that emergency first aid treatment it needs as you're getting to a vet. So it's really important. This kit we have is portable, so I recommend if you're going on holidays with your pet to take that in the car with you. And also we recommend having a great app that you can get on your phone for free. It's a First Aid for Pets app, so we recommend also downloading that, and all the information is also on our blog as well. So what we'll do, we'll show you what we've got in our kit today. So this kit is very comprehensive. A lot of the kits out there don't include some of the items that we have, so we're really proud of the kit that we came up with. All of our vet nurses here made this one up. So Keith, what we're going to show you is a lot of the time you may find that your pet is bleeding, has a wound, and you want to stop that bleeding. So what we've popped in this pack is some bandages. So you've got your adhesive bandage and your cohesive bandage. So in a real emergency, what you'd want to be doing is getting some gauze or one of our non-adherent bandages, which means that it's not going to stick to the wound when it's removed, it's not going to hurt. And we'd be bandaging, say Keith got a little cut on his paw, we'd pop that little pressure bandage on, and then this bandage is really great. You can actually tear it, or you can use the pair of blunt scissors that we have in the pack, which is always handy. They are nice and blunt, so you can't actually cut your dog. So what's happened there is he's bleeding. We've minimised that bleeding as much as we can, and we're going to go to the vet. So that's definitely, the bandages are really useful for that reason. Also, say your dog was in a lot of pain, you were wanting to help it with bleeding or anything like that, but it was painful, and what happens when dogs are painful is they may bite. Even if you are the owner, pain, they're going to show a reaction, and that can be, hey, that's painful, I'm going to bite you. So the conforming bandage, as well as being able to use as just a bandage on their limbs, it can actually be used as a temporary muzzle so that you're safe as well in an emergency. So these are fantastic for that reason. So say Keith was in a lot of pain, he wasn't letting me touch him. Voila, we've got a temporary muzzle here, and we can go about our business in terms of helping him with his emergency. So that conforming bandage has many uses there. Now, dogs in shock, what can happen is they can get very low body temperature. So our kit actually has in it a emergency blanket. So what that's going to do is put a lot of thermal heat over him while he's getting to the vet to get his treatment. So we're really going to help raise his body temperature back up, because shock is a pretty bad condition with dogs. So that emergency blanket is really vital. One of the other important things to do is, say you're out camping, say you're at the park, you're bushwalking, and your dog gets a prickle, a splinter, anything like that, having a pair of tweezers is going to be really handy. So we've got some disposable tweezers in there that we get a little splinter into our paw there. got a little splinter. We need to get that out. We're going to just, show me, Keith. We're just going to remove that like that. So they are really, really handy for situations like that. Eye wash, fantastic. So your dog's gone, say, to the beach, or it's gone into an area where it's dug in all the dirt and it's got really sandy eyes and they're looking a bit inflamed, at the beach as well, that type of thing. Eye wash, so we've got 5 saline eye washes there. So these are fantastic. So you just open one vial, open his eyes, squirt it in, so great for flushing. You can also use these to flush wounds out. So say he had a wound there that was looking quite dirty, before you do bandage it up, you can actually flush that with the saline as well. So that has many uses. I should have mentioned initially, whenever you're dealing with anything in an emergency with a dog where you've got infection, blood loss, we've of course got a pair of disposable gloves in our kit. So that's really important to wear those in those situations. Okay, so a lot of pet owners do attempt to cut their own dog's nails. And a lot of dogs, like Keith, have black nails, which means that we actually can't see where what we call the quick is, which is where all the blood supply is, and where the nail is that we can cut. So what happens is sometimes we get over enthusiastic, we may cut that nail too short, it starts bleeding. What do? You've got blood everywhere. So what we've included in here is a styptic pencil, which is fantastic. So what you do, you apply that to the bleeding nail, hold that there for a couple of seconds, about 30 seconds, and that's going to stop that bleeding. So they are so handy in those type of situations. Now we've got also some syringes in our pack as well, so they are great for flushing wounds. They're also great for syringing some water into the mouth if you're feeling that your dog's a little bit dehydrated, or your cat for that matter. So anything we're talking about today also applies for cats. So this pack is definitely a first aid kit for cats as well. So we've included some syringes in there, and we really think it's important to have a thermometer in your first aid kit. You will find with a lot of first aid kits out there, they don't include a thermometer. So it's important to know what is normal for your animal, and that's why that first aid app or a first aid book is really key to having that. And then if you're feeling that your dog or cat is a little bit off, having this digital thermometer handy is really key, because you're going to be able to tell, oh, my dog's temperature is 40 degrees, which is really, really high. He may be suffering from heat stroke or something else, and that's going to help you gauge, what is going on. Do I need to take them to the vet? So you've got your digital thermometer and your lubricant jelly there, which is going to help the thermometer go in a lot better, and the dog's not going to worry, or the dog or cat's not going to worry so much. And tick twisters. So this time of year, or any time of year for that matter, it's so important to have tick knowledge, and knowing that we're doing daily searches of our dog or cat and we find a tick, that we've got some tick removers to remove those ticks. So this pack includes a small tick remover and a large tick remover, so it makes it a lot easier to take those ticks out, because they can embed into the animal quite deeply. So they are a really, really handy item to have. We've got a few other items in here as well. So as well as the non-adherent bandage, which I talked about earlier, we've got an adherent bandage as well. So that one, it's more just really minor wounds. So that one will stick to the skin. So when it is removed, it's probably best for to use some water to get it off, because it is a little bit more sticky. But they are in there to use as well for a bandage. Also, we've got some wipes, which they kind of prep the wound. So we've got a really yucky wound going on there, and what we want to do before we put any bandaging on it, we can flush it with the saline wash, or we can use some of these prep wipes to also clean it as well, just to get some muck out and put that on. And then we've also included wound guard in our first aid kit. So this is a really good item to use. So it's an antiseptic spray, and it's also got a bittern in it, which means that it's going to taste really yucky to a dog or cat. So say Keith has got an injury and we want to just spray some antiseptic on there, and he's really bothered by it. This has got a bittern in it. He turns around, goes to lick it, it's going to taste really yucky. So what we've done is we've put the antiseptic on it, plus we've stopped Keith from keep going back and back to that wound and actually making it worse, because he's not going to want to, because this actually tastes really quite yucky. So this has a multitude of uses. Also, say if your dog had to go to the vet and got some stitches, you can actually use this afterwards to put onto the wound, so that they don't keep going back and trying to take those sutures out. So that actually is something you can use all year round. So our kit comes in a little handy portable case. So there are so many things in this kit. We're really proud of what we came up with, and we hope that you find this kit really handy and helpful for your dogs and cats. Thanks, Keith.